Welcome back to Northeast Current. Artistically speaking now, we're joined by Applause Theater. Greg Korin and Sarah Stachura are the director and star, respectively, of The Dinner Party by Neil Simon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Hi, John.
I am just ducky, and it's always a pleasure to have some fellow theater people on the show.
It is indeed. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for coming back. Both of you returning for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. Tell me about The Dinner Party.
The Dinner Party is a Neil Simon comedy. This is kind of a departure for Neil Simon. Neil Simon has always been an admirer of Chekhov, the Russian playwright, not the guy from Star Trek.
Okay.
In fact, about 30 years ago, he adapted a bunch of Chekhov's short plays into an anthology production called The Good Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of takes that admiration of Chekhov one step farther, in that he is kind of emulating Chekhov in the style of this, in the plot of this play. It's a short play, and it takes place in the private dining room of an upscale Parisian restaurant, and there are 6 people invited to the dinner party. They don't know why they're there. The host is conspicuously absent, and they spend the course of the play trying to figure out why they're there, the connection to each other, what the host is trying to do, and all of this, which is, very Chekhovian.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's Neil Simon all the way, because you've got the wry dialogue, you've got the one-liner zingers. There's really some pretty funny stuff in there, it's well, that's it. It's Neil Simon's shot at emulating Chekhov, and it works fairly well.
In a typical Neil Simon
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. I mean, it's unmistakably Neil Simon, yet it's still kind of a departure style-wise for him.
So who are you? I always say, so tell me about your character. So what part are you playing? Let's get right down to it. Who are you?
My character's name is Mariette Levieux. We've had a lot of trouble getting through the French pronunciations. Everybody's name is French, like Mariette Levieux.
As opposed to Levieri.
Yeah.
Oh, it comes out Levieux, Leveau, Leveau,
Vox, yeah, everything. And she is a successful writer. She's a writer of sort of like Harlequin novels. I see her writing that kind of publishing deal. And she is very successful in her career, and she's just sort of surprised and maybe a little bit annoyed at what she finds, in relation to the other characters at the party. So.
Is this a typical Sarah Stachura character, or is this someone a little bit different?
I would say she's a little bit different. She's maybe a little bit more refined than a lot of the characters that I played in the past, except for, of course,
the nun that you played.
Right.
Actually, you played a couple of nuns, but neither of them have been very refined sisters.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, she's a little bit more refined. She's very. She's very controlled. She's very ladylike at all times.
Kind of stretch for her.
Yeah, it is, but she's pulling it off.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, you've got a great cast. John Morris, who's been seen on stages all over northeastern Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, and John is just the greatest. I wasn't, it was just a pleasure to have him come out for it and to be able to use him in this role, because I've worked with John. Oh geez, I can't even count the amount of times I worked with John, and I've always found him to be just really refreshing. And fun to be on stage with, even if you're in the middle of something serious. I mean, we've done Shakespeare together, and it's just John even approaches Shakespeare in a different way from everybody else.
John approaches everything in a different way from everybody else.
This is true. This is true. And of course, we got Wally Kulick is in there. It's a 6-person play. There are 3 men and 3 women. I'm directing. I'm also playing one of the other people at the dinner party. Except one night, Tim Swanson will be filling in for me.
Okay.
Because I won't be able to make that performance, so Tim Swanson will be filling in for me one night. And then, of course, we have Sarah. Again, it's always a pleasure to work with Sarah and Christine Skiro, who left the area and came back. And I'm glad she did, because she brings, the character that she plays is not quite, she speaks without using any punctuation marks. She just, no punctuation marks.
It's like a lot of guests I've had on the show.
Yeah, yeah. And then Don Winarski, of course, plays the upscale Madame Warnacelli.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's a good cast. Not a single slouch on stage. Everybody is a seasoned veteran and familiar to local audiences, which is good, because this is the premiere production. This is the first big main stage show that Applause is doing, and they wanted to do something like this that would pique people's interest. And now, of course, they've got a cast that people are going to want to come and see as well too. So it's aces all around.
Now, Applause doesn't have a permanent home yet. This is taking place at the Piston Arts Center.
Well, this is kind of their
Or is this kind of their unofficial home?
Yeah, they've got, geez, it's just amazing the way they fell into this. It's an old furniture store, and the landlord has been more than accommodating in helping them put things together so that they can actually have it. They've got, I would venture to say, they've got right around 18,000 square feet to use.
Wow.
Yeah, you walk in, there's a nice lobby. Then off to the left, or off to the right as you walk in, you go, there's where, in one of the large furniture showrooms, it's now the main arena theater stage. You can seat about 75, 80 people.
Is this not arena style?
No, no, we call it arena because, but it's a proscenium stage.
Okay.
Which is also crazy, because all of us are used to, it's been about 5 or 6 years since I've done proscenium theater. Same thing with Sarah, John, Don.
Wow.
We've
all done that 3/4 in the round.
We've all, yes, we've all done
the
that.
difference being, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, proscenium theater is, well, very much like television. You're looking right at us, looking forward, whereas 3/4 in the round, there's actually audience on 3 sides of you.
Yeah.
I've done that once at Showcase, and I had been doing proscenium theater for 10 years before I did that. Wow.
Yeah, and this is exactly the opposite. Most of us haven't done a proscenium performance in about 5 or 6 years.
So you only have to think about facing that way.
Yeah.
Not also that way.
But I'm constantly, last night I actually sat out in the audience for the first time in a couple of weeks. We rehearsed Tim in my role, and I actually sat on the audience as director and took notes, and everybody is still acting like they're 3/4 in the round. Excuse me, I just kind of shot somebody.
I was going to let that one go.
Everybody's still acting like they're 3/4 in the round, you know, turning their back to the sides and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, stop, we can't do that anymore, stop it. Counter, open up, I can't see this guy when he comes in, you gotta move over there, we're not in the round anymore. Yeah, everyone's clumping over to one side of the stage.
It's been an adjustment from an actor's point of view too, I imagine.
Oh, sure. It really is a wonderful space to be working in. It's different. You really have to just sort of watch what you're doing, and just the way that things are set up. Like the stage is pretty much on the same level with the audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's really kind of different there, and there's just so much space in the building itself to wander around. Also, it's very cold. While we're rehearsing, we're wearing our coats. And
it's tough to heat that 18,000 square feet. I'm telling you right now.
Now I'm assuming it's heated well once the audience is.
Oh yeah, once the
actors will suffer, but the audience will not.
Well, no, the audience won't suffer either, because I think Bill will go in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the days of the performances and actually turn the heater on.
Good idea. Now, for tickets information, what's the phone number?
457-4115.
Easy to remember?
Yeah.
Very easy to remember.
Drive through the main drag in Duryea, and you will see it written right on the window there.
Yep.
Excellent. Is there a website?
Yeah, there is, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, do a search. Anyway, the show is happening. Yeah. It's Neil Simon's A Dinner Party by Applause Theater, and it is happening February 27, 28, 29, and then the following weekend, which would be the first full weekend in March. It's happening at the Piston Arts Center on the main drag in Duryea. 457-4115 for more information. Thank you both so much for joining me today. This has been great.
Thank you, John. It's nice to see you.
It's always a pleasure.
It's good to be seen. Hopefully we'll see you at the show. In the meantime, stay with us. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, Leadership Wilkes-Barre has a new executive director. We're going to meet her here on Northeast Current. Stay with us.
More to come as Northeast Current continues after this. Stay tuned.